I have always known that my younger brother, David, has the kindest heart. Ever since we were kids, he was the one who stood up for the underdog, defended those who couldn't fight for themselves, and made sure everyone around him felt included. That's why when he met Amelia, I was genuinely happy for him. He had found someone he loved, someone he wanted to spend his life with. Their wedding was supposed to be a picture-perfect day, one of those grand, elegant ceremonies where everything is carefully planned. Initially, their invitations made it clear it was a child-free wedding. I understood and respected their decision. Weddings are expensive, and not everyone wants kids running around. But then, just a few weeks before the big day, David called me. "I want Katie to be there," he said. "Katie, my daughter, his niece." I was stunned. "David, are you sure? I thought it was a no-kids wedding." "I don't care about the rule anymore. I want Katie as our flower girl," he insisted. It wouldn't feel right without her there. Tears welled up in my eyes. David has always had a special bond with my daughter, Katie. She absolutely adores her Uncle David, and the feeling is mutual. You see, Katie was born partially paralyzed. She cannot move her body below her arms, and she's been in a wheelchair her entire life. When we first got the diagnosis, my husband Roger and I were devastated. We spent months searching for answers, for a cure that didn't exist. But as time passed, we learned to focus on what Katie could do rather than what she couldn't. And Uncle David? He never treated her differently. To him, she was just Katie, funny, smart, and full of life. Hearing that he wanted her there as his flower girl meant the world to me. "And Amelia is okay with this?" I asked cautiously. "Of course," David reassured me. "She understands." Or at least that's what I thought. A few days later, Amelia called me. "So, about Katie," she began, her tone polite but strangely clipped. She told me that she had conditions for Katie's attendance. Katie had to wear a specific beige dress, one that Amelia described as flowy and appropriate for the wedding atmosphere. Katie's hair needed to be styled in a way that wouldn't distract from the beauty of the ceremony. I was taken aback. It felt controlling, but I bit my tongue. It was her wedding, after all. I didn't want to cause problems. I bought the dress Amelia requested, but when I sent her a photo, she complained that it looked too lifeless. I was confused. Wasn't this the exact color she wanted? She then insisted I buy another dress, one that was almost identical but had the tiniest hint of pink. That's when it hit me. This wasn't about the dress. She was finding excuses to make things difficult, to make me feel like Katie didn't belong. But I wasn't going to let her win. Despite everything, Katie was radiant on the big day. As she wheeled down the aisle, tossing flower petals, the entire room gasped. Then, applause. People weren't looking at her with pity. They were cheering. I turned to David, and his face mirrored mine. Pride, love, pure joy. But when I glanced at Amelia, my stomach twisted. She was rolling her eyes at Katie. Still, I brushed it off. Maybe I imagined it. Maybe it's just stress. Then came the family photos. David made sure Katie was in every shot. He even lifted her up in his arms for one photo, grinning as she laughed. I noticed Amelia's expression darken. She sighed heavily, arms crossed, her face tight with irritation. Finally, she pulled me aside. "Can you wheel Katie away? I want some photos without distractions." Her words stung, but I complied, not wanting to ruin the moment. Little did I know, the real battle was yet to come. A week after the wedding, Amelia invited me over to talk. She pulled out her phone and scrolled through the wedding pictures. Then she zoomed in on one of them. A beautiful family photo. David, Amelia, me, Katie in her wheelchair, all of us smiling. "Do you see how your daughter ruins the entire vibe?" she said coldly. For a moment, I couldn't breathe. "Excuse me?" I whispered. "I want you to pay a photo editor to remove Katie, or at least make her look normal. No wheelchair." My blood boiled. Are you serious? You want me to erase my daughter from your wedding photos? Amelia didn't even flinch. Yes, or at least make her look like she's not disabled. I can't stand looking at those pictures otherwise. I lost it. You're a monster, Amelia. My daughter is perfect just the way she is. At that moment, David walked in. He had heard everything. His face turned red with rage. What did you just say about Katie? His voice was sharp, shaking with fury. Amelia stammered, trying to backtrack. I just meant she got too much attention, and people... Stop! David's voice was dangerous. If you have a problem with my niece, then you have a problem with me. Then the words that sealed her fate. Pack your things. We're done. Amelia begged, cried, and even tried blaming me for ruining their marriage. But David didn't budge. Within months, their marriage was annulled. Her parents tried to blame me, saying I should have just edited the photos to keep the peace. But my entire family stood by me. Even my mother, who once struggled to accept Katie's condition, told Amelia's parents, "Your daughter is the only disgrace here." As for David, he and Katie are closer than ever. A few months later, we took a family vacation. Just me, Roger, Katie, and David. As I watched David push Katie's wheelchair down the beach, both of them laughing at something silly, I felt nothing but gratitude. Love isn't about appearances. It's about the people who stand beside you, even when the world wants to erase you. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated. With more shocking real-life stories happening around you made with By Glasp.